Secret Journey to Planet Serpo, a true story of interplanetary travel by Lynn Caston.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the name?
Lynn Caston.
Oh, okay. That came across like one word. It was like, by Lynn Caston. I was like, what?
When I heard it come out, I was like, what the hell did I just say?
Molasses?
And I knew you were going to catch it.
Yeah, I always do.
I also went to the website planetserpo.org.
Which would probably have all the information.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot. I was going through it, but there was a lot more information. I got the basics. But if you want to take a deep dive, planetserpo.org.
Yeah. And I have not done any research for this episode, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. So I'm feeling pretty prepared.
Did you?
No, I didn't. But for the joke, I did.
Okay.
Anyone that is older than my knees gets that reference. Let's continue.
Okay. So you've heard the story of Roswell, right?
What's that? Just kidding.
The Roswell crash.
Yeah, I got you.
There was a little bit of a different story to it that is supposedly not the story we know. In this crash in New Mexico, there was a surviving alien that had a communication device when, I guess, he was captured, rescued, whatever you call him.
Probably not rescued. Captured sounds par for the course.
So that's where we're going. And it led to us sending U.S. citizens, military citizens, to another planet.
And this has nothing to do with like Majestic 12 or anything?
I'll let you be the judge of that as we get through. I don't think it does.
Nice.
It's totally different.
Completely different interplanetary travel. I like it.
Yeah. So in November of 2005, information was started being released by a senior official of the Defense Intelligence Agency. The official called himself Anonymous. This was before the Anonymous we know of now.
So it probably wasn't like trademarked or anything.
No. And he was not working alone. There were 6 people in total. 3 were current employees, and 3 were former employees of the DIA.
Gotcha.
And you've seen the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, or you've heard of it?
Yes.
Okay. It's classic, I think, 1970s alien.
Oh, yeah.
It was said that when President Reagan watched it, and then he got together with the director Steven Spielberg, he's like, you don't know how true this really is. And this is supposed to relate to Planet Serpo. Because in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, at the end, some of the humans get in the ship and go to another planet.
Was it at all, like, is there any kind of record of Reagan saying that? Or is it all just like hearsay? Like,
it's kind of hearsay.
Yeah.
But a lot of people at the time the movie came out, there was a lot of rumblings that this was a true story.
Interesting. And none of those rumblings were marketing, I hope.
No. It was more like the underbelly of the early community that follow that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
You know, we're in the 70s. Things were a lot different for these, whether it was the UFO community or whatever.
Yeah.
The conspiracy community was not like it is now.
Yeah, they weren't necessarily a community back then, more so just a group of people entitled the Crazies.
Yeah, it was harder to be a community back then, but there were people that got together to talk about and study these things even then. Okay, so the DIA official said that the crash at Roswell didn't happen the way we think. There were 2 crash sites, and I think we've heard this a little bit about there possibly being another crash. That it was maybe a collision of 2 craft UFOs. One was southwest of Corona, New Mexico, and the other site was Pelona Peak, also in New Mexico. And again, all the beings died except for one, who was found hiding behind a rock. This alien was given water, but declined food, and he was taken to Los Alamos. Do you know where Los Alamos is?
Is that a prison?
No. Los Alamos is like in New Mexico. I believe that's where they worked on the nuclear bomb.
Oh, is that where they worked on the nuclear bomb?
Yeah.
No, I'm just going to cut out everything. Was that a prison? They took him to prison. They took the alien to prison.
Yeah.
I said, you're part of the system now.
It kind of was prison.
Yeah.
And my understanding was the reason they went there first, because they had cold storage for the dead ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Big old walk-in deep freeze.
Yeah, pretty much.
Had one of those at McDonald's. They could just stop there.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't think about that, though, did they? No.
No.
Over 1 billion sold? Come on. Or billions and billions? Come on.
They
Got to keep that meat somewhere, dude.
Yeah, probably would have added some extra taste to it. We're just wrong.
Okay.
So like I said, the alien had a communication device. So the Americans had its people or its fellow aliens come to Alamogordo, New Mexico.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a city.
We've touched on something in Alamogordo.
I think so. It's pretty popular in this area. But And they retrieved the bodies of the dead from the crashes. And they were able to speak English because they had a translation device. So they were able to communicate with the human. So in 1965, an exchange program was set up and 12 military personnel were selected. They were vetted, trained, and removed from the military system. So their records were gotten rid of.
Wiped.
Yeah.
Interesting number, 12.
That is an interesting number.
The not so majestic 12.
Not according to the story. They had various skills, and there's some varying reports, but there were 12. There were supposed to be 10 men and 2 women, and they were picked up in the northern part of the Nevada test site, which...
Classic.
Yeah. We all know where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
When they picked up the 12, they dropped off an alien to stay because it was an exchange program.
It's weird trade, but...
Yeah. The alien that had crashed lived until 1952, hanging out in the U.S.
That's the sitcom that we deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would watch that.
Yeah, and I think I read something that it liked strawberry ice cream, but I can't be sure on that one.
Well, of course it did, Christian, because everyone does.
Yes.
Okay?
I agree.
You think we're going to give it to the alien who's going to be like, disgusting? No.
Yeah, no, you're right. This alien actually provided a full explanation for everything that was on the craft that the U.S. military found. Told them everything about their technology and all that fun stuff. But going back to the crew on Planet Serpo, they were supposed to remain there for 10 years. So it wasn't a short trip.
So they must have not had families or anyone that would miss them.
They picked people that would not have those kind of attachments. They had the skills they needed that did not have those kind of attachments and that they could make kind of disappear from the system.
Weird.
And that was around the beginning of the Vietnam War. So it probably was pretty easy to make people...
I mean, you're already drafting people as it is. So why not just throw a few more in there that are lonely?
Well, then, they can say they were killed in Vietnam or something like that.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah. Something went wrong and they didn't return until 1978, so a little more than 10 years.
Did they say what went wrong?
I think it was just something with the travel, some miscalculations and it kind of happened even before they went.
Yeah.
The first time they tried to set up a meeting, it kind of went a little bit wrong because they were trying to figure out where the planet was and real technical stuff that I don't understand, but navigation type stuff.
It's weird that the aliens can just be like, all right, you're going to hit this planet. And then if you see this one, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
Or just guide us there, via starship.
Well, and the ship that the soldiers went in was supposed to be pretty big. They had some trouble in the traveling because they were dizzy and disoriented and stuff like that because they weren't used to that kind of travel.
I would imagine. Yeah.
7 men and one woman returned in 1978.
Oh, did the other ones find love?
2 died on the alien planet.
That's not love.
And 2 chose to remain. Maybe love.
What kind of experience do you have to have on an alien planet to be like, oh yeah, this is my shit right here. Count me in.
Well, it could also be, you never know. We've seen that throughout history. People become close to whoever, like if, say, certain people came to the Americas, became close to the Native Americans.
Like an Interstellar Jane Goodall out there with the gorilla alien people.
Are you comparing aliens to gorillas?
Yeah.
That's just wrong, man.
Yeah, well, if it's wrong, I don't want to be right, Christian.
I guess so.
That?
Those that returned were isolated until 1984, and they would be shuttled back and forth between various military installations. So basically, they were kept out of the public eye for a while. Some of it was
would be annoying.
Yeah, some of it was probably to make sure they didn't bring back any diseases, but also these people didn't exist in the normal sense of the word, and what they did was super secret. So you can't just until you figure out you can
just come back and live a free life.
Yeah,
we're gonna shuttle you. You gotta go Walmart. All right, we're on you.
We got you. Just give us a list.
Yeah.
Now there are some in the know that say that no women were sent, and that saying the women were part of the mission was some kind of red herring. I'm not sure what kind of red herring that is. If they were trying to be woke beforehand, or
that kind of mission. What are you covering up? What's going on here in the homeland that you're covering up in that time period? What was going on in the mid 80s? What was going on in the mid 80s?
A lot of cocaine.
There was that, sure. I'd like to have one episode without a drug reference, Christian, if that's doable.
Oh, okay, Miami Vice was the show. Knight Rider.
Yeah. What about...
Everybody loved Michael Jackson.
What
and
about
Bill Cosby.